If you use them, law firms, you're still responsible for the
Yes.
vendor's content. Even if you haven't talked to that vendor in a year, if they are putting out content on your behalf, or even if not on your, even if you were just contracted with them to secure leads, that counts as a vendor on your behalf. If you take leads
Yeah.
from a lead generation company. So just be aware that if you tangentially work with a vendor, you need to make sure they know about these requirements, because if they put something out on your behalf, you're ultimately responsible. You're the one that will face the lawsuit, not them. Hey everybody, it is Alan and Victoria from Blue 7 Content. We missed you last week. It's Victoria's fault.
How is it my fault?
Probably. I don't know for sure if it's her fault, but well, why not?
I'll take the hit. It's fine.
So, folks, I want to talk about legal marketing law changes in California. We wrote a blog about it. It has been, most of you, if you're a law firm or in the legal marketing industry, probably heard of it. We're going to get into it a little bit because I want to show you parts of the blog we wrote. We're going to talk about it. Luckily, Victoria's a lawyer, so we kind of get both ends of the spectrum here. She is not a lawyer in California, though, so we can talk all we want about it.
So just like, well, hold on. Let me back this up a little bit. So there's the American Bar Association, which sets the ABA rules, the ethics. It's what we take the MPRE on when you're an attorney, or for how you are expected to act as an attorney and how you're expected to structure your law firm, to do processes in your law firm, including advertising, what you can and cannot do. Now, that's like the cross country, rules. And then your state also can implement and adopt from the nationwide rules, but they can adopt their own specific rules just for that particular state, which is why some states allow certain ways to advertise and some states don't. So, for example, like in Texas, your advertisements should be going through a board, not just something that you can produce. And in California, what we're seeing is not a big brother type thing trying to ask you to submit your advertising, because I think that will just bottleneck a lot, but they are requiring a more stringent and transparent approach to marketing.
Right.
And that's what, we're going to get into today. So just to kind of give that like bigger background.
Right. And as we'll see in the article, if y'all read the article, we'll link it in the description below. California is a massive state, as everybody knows, like the 7th or 8th largest economy in the world. They have been known governmentally to make stronger regulations than the rest of the U.S., in which the rest of the U.S. then follows. Because it's such a large market, most people don't want to have to deal with a bunch of different regulations specifically for California and then the rest of the country. EPA, emissions regulations for cars is an example. Automotive industry just adopted California's rules when they made their own standard. Yeah. So I wrote in the article, which we'll share here, this could be a bellwether, and I think ignoring this to your own detriment, if you say, well, I don't do any business in California, well, if you're a legal marketing vendor, you do. And if you're a law firm, you should probably know about it anyway. So this is SB 37. So Senate Bill 37 in California, folks. It was passed last year. It went into effect on January 1 of this year, 2026. And this is actually a very substantial shift in clamping down on legal marketing. Because some of y'all getting a little wild out there. Let's just say it. Full disclosure, some of the images used here were made with AI because, look, I wanted to get this out for you folks, and I am not a graphic designer, and you don't want me to do little stick figures. So, okay, let's go down. All right, Victoria, I know you're kind of learning about this law right now, too. We're going to go through this together, but I want to get your real-time reaction to some of these, and I think most of them you're going to say, yeah, that makes sense. Obviously, we should be doing that anyway. The first big thing that this changes, the most immediate change for SB 37. Every legal advertisement has to clearly identify who is responsible and where they actually exist in the physical world. So what does this mean? All right, you must identify at least one California-based attorney, a law firm, or certified referral service responsible for the ad, and you have to disclose the real office or state bar address on record. All right, what about that?
Okay, so what I see here is they are really gunning for transparency and ensuring that real people are doing real things. Ooh, I just got this little spicy thought. I'm curious because so the really big thing in ethics is we want to make sure that there isn't anyone doing unauthorized practice of law. That's what it is. So that's like the biggest thing with ethics, right? Is the unauthorized practice of law. And to really, I think AI is kind of imposing a risk, right? Like, I know that there's been rumors of like having all AI firms, right? Like, or having a full AI firm. And I think we're trying to like mitigate that situation where someone is going to attempt to create an avatar that is an attorney. An unauthorized practice of law is not uncommon. It's a little more uncommon for people who like have literally never gone to law school. But as we saw, as a local townie from our
Someone in
area of
Victoria I know
Duluth
got themselves busted for practicing law
who
without a law license, but he didn't just give himself a JD, he gave himself LLM, like
he gave
rolling
himself
overboard.
everything,
Yeah,
and
like
he
calm down,
conned
man. Shocked he
people.
didn't throw a PhD on the end of there.
Yes, he conned people out of money. So I think that's part of the impetus for this, right? We need to see who it is that is in charge and responsible for this advertisement so that people kind of like where you say advertisement buy instead of just call this number for a lawyer, you're giving some type of assurance that it is an actual attorney and there's a functional business structure behind this advertisement as well.
It makes sense to me, honestly. I get it because we know that there's a lot of lead referral services or attorneys that might not have a office in a state like Morgan and Morgan. They have an office around the corner here, but I bet you if they didn't have a requirement to have an office, they wouldn't do it, right?
Correct.
So prohibited content, the death of hype marketing. We're going after some flashy stuff. Let's look at this. Oh
Yeah.
my God. We guarantee we're an experts, right? So we can't guarantee, folks. We've known this for a long time, but California has said absolutely not. And we've all seen ads like this, right? I mean, right? Facebook.
Yeah, I think we are just seeing a a reinforcement of these hyperbolic advertising. So, for example, in Illinois, shout out to Top Dog Law, right? He is huge in this area. He is all over the radio. He's all over billboards. Top Dog Law, and his commercials are all about there's one in particular that I really like. It's his jingle, and it's like, if a dog bites you, what are you gonna do? If you have to go to the emergency room, what are you gonna do? And it's this cool like jingle. I mean, it's kind of true. Okay, like what am I gonna do? I'm getting bit by a dog. What do I do? I
One of the
have to
most
get
common
medical
injuries,
bills.
too. Common
What do
claims
I
for
do?
homeowners
Yeah.
insurance.
And so it turns out you call Top Dog Law.
Now you know. You know that now, though.
Now
So
I know that. Oh, I
good
know
job,
that.
Top Dog.
It kind of makes me miss Amastapulo in South Carolina because at least he used his name.
Yeah.
And it's not just Top Dog Law. And unfortunately,
Don't scream, call Akeem.
exactly, I do think that Top Dog would probably not fly in California. I think
Oof.
that they would have some problems with that. Mainly because even saying, what are you going to do? You have a dog bite. What are you going to do? You have, medical bills. It is kind of creating a false sense of you have a claim. Just because you got bit by a dog and you have some medical bills does not mean you have a claim worth fighting for. And so, I don't know how they do it at that office. I can't assume that they accept every single claim. So, I think here it's really trying to neutralize the advertisement area, really neutralize what lawyers are meant to do, and we are meant to fight for justice fairly. Now, y'all in the comment section or y'all listening can have whatever conversation, existential conversation. I would love to be a part of it and guarantee I'm on a side. But what the rules of ethics is supposed to do is kind of guide us through to more of this like neutral area of, providing a service, not a sales pitch.
Makes sense. I mean, folks, that's kind of self-explanatory. You don't guarantee. Just don't guarantee in any of your content. You know
Do not
better.
guarantee
You know
anything.
better.
It's
We don't
suggestive
know.
language. Do not do suggestive language.
Fast cash language. We can get you your settlement now. No, you can't. You might, but look.
Here's the thing. Here's the
Under
thing about it.
promise, over deliver.
Yes. But here's the thing with something like that. When they say we'll get you your settlement, more often than not, they are utilizing a loan shark in order to give you that money up front. And we know because we wrote for these kinds of people.
We have, yes, we have
right?
written for.
Where we won't name names, but we wrote for companies that provide law firms with loans so that their clients can get access to money while the trial or while the case is being litigated. And it's a cool option to have. However, what a lot of people don't understand is typically that means when you accept that money as the client, you're eating up what you're going to get at the end. So you may have been promised $100,000, but you've been accepting $10,000 along the way. So when you finally litigation ends and you get there's this lump sum and this lump sum's 120, you're either not going to see any of it because you've already used it, or you might only get 5 or 10,000.
This feels just like the previous one, right? It's almost like a guarantee. No,
it is.
It's just there's a theme for all of these, right? The transparency and the less BS. I even wrote it in the caption. California wants maximum transparency and less BS. This is just another one.
Yes.
You want to get into a pet peeve? Oh, y'all.
You can take this one because you have some personal feels regarding.
So, and a lot of us feel this way. And I take it back. I'm going to take it back because some of our friends have these awards. And you know what? Love you for it. But y'all, if you have to pay for an award, or if it's not an earned award, you're nominated by somebody else, it's not a real award. And California agrees with me. So, misleading awards. Just top 10 lawyers in America. Obviously, that's an exaggeration. But if you're going to have an award on your law firm, it has to be one that's not paid for. I'm going to leave it at that. We know what that means. Y'all know better. California's going to get
Here's
you.
The thing. The attorneys may not know better. So here's the situation. You do put your trust into your advertising agency or your buddy who's helping you out in there was a cat. Sorry, squirrel moment. Who is helping you, create a strategy, or maybe it's a newbie marketer emerging, trying to get their feet wet in this field and
trying to get some of those backlinks and trying to get some of that stuff on the page.
Yep. They're going to say, you know what? I know exactly a strategy that we can do. And it kind of gives that pay-per-click ick, right? Like there is a time and place for a pay-per-click, but it is not always the immediate, strategy that you should go to or prolong it. And I think this is a situation. If you really want to get some awards, which hello, I'm an attorney. I also have to do this. I'm going to have to really start being active back in my local bar associations. And kind of start networking that way, get my reviews up on my Google site, throw my name out there for under 40 lists, under 30 lists, under 50 lists. That is kind of the dark social, the groundwork that as an attorney you have to do. So
and the problem, and not the problem, it's not a problem, but we know we have to do it, but also there's only 24 hours in a day and you got to sleep some of those. So I understand the need and the want. I get it. It's like the sugar rush it. Let's just get some of this loaded up front because it takes time to network. But listen, I know if you're just starting out, which I know a lot of you listening are not just starting out, but it does pay off over time. You will see the benefits of networking if you do it. But if you start, stop, it's like SEO. Networking is like SEO.
Yep.
Actor impersonations. This is, we see all the commercials, well, not just legal commercials where you usually it will say, or it should say on medical stuff, this is an actor portrayal, dramatization. So you can't use fake actors or clients, don't be fake. Just
This is
you can put real clients
also
up there if you want and they consent, but
this is also building arguments against AI constructed images. So, a huge conversation going on right now is whether or not attorneys have to be present in their own videos or if attorneys have to show their real face. And many are opting for a avatar. Many are opting for, can I just get like you know, an AI me that can just spout off videos. And there are agencies that are literally creating this where they're like,
yeah,
let's just take your picture. We're going to make an avatar for you and we're going to video scripted things and it's going to produce, 100 or so videos in a month. And we're just going to flood
could
your
go all
media.
to your practice area pages, your blogs, your socials.
Yes. And so here we are where
I
it
didn't even
starts.
think about that. Are AI avatars actors? Or like, is that that seems like it's not a you have to disclose it. I would imagine you'd have to disclose it.
I would say it is. I mean, I hate being catfished. 100%. I do. I don't want to
Hey,
go.
don't we all?
This is what I mean, this is why I changed my profile picture because I had super short hair like 2 years ago, but not anymore. And I hated going into these interviews at these law firms and I looked on their website and I tried to get everyone's name and I tried to match the picture with the name only to realize that that picture was from like 20 years ago. And the faces that I'm looking at are not the pictures that I saw. And
Yeah.
it's a little alarming and disrupting.
Well,
So,
also there's I don't you can prevent yourself from aging online if you really want to. You just don't change your photos.
yeah. I don't know. I
I'll
really
let
do
your mom
feel
and
like
dad
this is a build to against, an AI filtered, AI infiltrating area.
let your mom and dad brag about how good you are, y'all. If even if you can prove it, you can't. California's going to say no. You don't want to go through that battle. Don't say you're the best. Use your real selves and disclose when you use actors or AI. I mean, disclosure is we love transparency.
Yep.
That's literally the name of the game.
Yep.
Expanded definition of advertising. When we talk about advertisement, you may just be thinking this only matters for TV commercials or billboards or the what you think of as traditional. No, they have expanded this to everything that your client can come into contact with, it seems. Landing pages, practice area pages, blogs, intake forms, even thank you screens. When you submit your name, if you present something false on that thank you screen, thank you for signing up, we'll be in touch soon. If you put guaranteed result or we'll win you this money, that's someone can report that. And I'm going to come down to like, well, no one's ever who's going to report that? Well, that, my friends, Victoria, how you always talk about the main enforcement mechanism of these things. Who reports? Lawyers.
Other lawyers.
Other lawyers, y'all. Listen, let me go down here. I have a whole section if you want to read on the blog.
Yeah.
Lawyer to lawyer enforcement.
Yep.
That's who's going to get you. You have to, I mean, it's going to be another California lawyer going jackass down the road, is violating the new California law. There's, all right, so there's a 72-hour takedown period. So let's talk about what happens if you get hit with the violation here. You will get these following rules and following steps you have to take. Okay, historically, you lived within the state bar discipline. This SB 37 significantly changes the ballgame. 72-hour takedown. If the state bar flags a violation, meaning someone has complained, they have decided, yes, that complaint is valid. You have 72 hours to pull the ad or the thing offline. Listen, if you can't get a hold of your vendor, and I'm not saying don't use vendors, I'm just saying you need to be able to get a hold of your vendor and you need to ask your vendor if they are aware of all these new laws. The clock starts ticking because I can promise whoever reported that is watching and they're going to see if it comes down.
Yep.
So it comes down. If it doesn't, you have now opened yourself up to a lawsuit. All right, this is where it gets real crunchy, right? If someone sees it's still up after 72 hours, hour 73, boom, now you got a claim. And if you got a competitor out there that really just wants you gone, they're going to file the claim.
Yep. So what I'll say here is, statutory damages 50 to 100.
Yeah, there's penalties and they hurt.
Not for campaign. Yeah.
This is not something that you can just go, oh, well, I'm going to ignore it. No, this could go on the way down the road to disbarment if you just don't pay it. So,
yeah. So here's the thing, like, yes, lawyers do like track other lawyers. When you are in litigation or you do personal injury or even like criminal defense, like not every client is going to be happy with what you do, and some are petty and they will try to knock you down. Like, it's just inevitable. And I mean, it's
Yeah.
terrifying because every single lawyer I've talked to has been either sued or has dealt with an ethics issue. And
Yeah.
it's really just a form of, or a thing of when and not if. So why provide them easy,
Yeah.
low hanging fruit, such as your advertising? Listen, we've been doing this for 6+ years, and we have always adhered to whatever ethical guidelines there were, not just per the ABA, but also the individual state. And we have successfully elevated sites, ranked sites, fed into the EAT acronym. And we know this because we've had long-standing relationships with our clients since we started. So I
Yeah.
know we're doing something good and right. And there is a way to still be successful, still climb that rank, still climb that ladder without having to dip into these kind of sales pitchy arenas. So
Well,
it's not a it's not like, you're going against the grain, or, you're somehow fooling people by doing a campaign that's like that. It's just gonna end up hurting yourself. I mean, how many times have we had clients give us pages that we do revamps, right? So we go
right.
through websites, we see what's kind of working, what's not working, we revamp that stuff. And so many of the revamps that we do have just ridiculous messaging, like experts or the best, or,
Guarantees of,
we can do this
money.
for you. We will do
We'll
this.
recover the maximum settlement,
We'll recover the
stuff like that.
maximum. Yeah. And that's just,
So no,
yeah.
no, that is all a no-no. If anybody's listening and doesn't, if you're not aware that stuff you can't write, there's hopefully you've seen why you can't say that. You can't make a guarantee because the legal system's wild, y'all. We don't know.
I'll also make this last little note, not to knock like international agencies and groups. There's been this kind of trend to look to international European
Mm-hmm.
companies to provide cheaper, I guess, work, but a lot of them do not know the ethics for. I mean, we had attempted to work with this one firm. We stepped away from working with this firm because the agency they were using wanted us to write best car accident, best truck accident.
Yeah,
And we were
we
like,
wouldn't do it.
no. And the thing is, the attorney that was in charge of this, like, I think they finally got the message, but the purpose of hiring a chief manager, like a fractional CMO or marketing officer, or an agency, is because you want to be able to offload that responsibility. But if you're not asking your team, do the ethics? Do you know the regulations? Do you have a plan in place? Do you know where disclaimers should go? What is the difference between an AI photo and a stock photo? What's the difference between using an avatar and not, right? Like, especially as you expand
Mm-hmm.
into social media spaces, like if you're not the attorney, or you're not the, you know, functional CMO or the marketing officer of the firm, like asking those questions, then I'm glad you found our video.
Yeah, and one last thing before we roll out is vendors. If you use them, law firms, you're still responsible for the
Yes.
vendor's content. Even if you haven't talked to that vendor in a year, if they are putting out content on your behalf, or even if not on your, even if you were just contracted with them to secure leads, that counts as a vendor on your behalf. If you take leads
Yeah.
from a lead generation company, so just be aware that if you tangentially work with a vendor, you need to make sure they know about these requirements, because if they put something out on your behalf, you're ultimately responsible. You're the one that will face the lawsuit, not them.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for the chat, guys. If y'all have any comments about this, it is an interesting conversation. I'll be curious to see if we have any violations this year. And actually, if
Yeah.
we do, we'll come back to you with a follow-up video on that. We have a
Yeah.
blog. This will be on the blog. Encourage you to read it. Make sure if you work with a law firm, and of course, like and subscribe. Have a good afternoon, y'all.